Are you a service-based business owner looking to increase profits to fund your lifestyle? Well, this podcast is for you. We bring you inspirational guests sharing actionable tips to solve many of the struggles you face each and every day. And now, over to your host, Paul Higgins.
Hi, Paul here. Before we get into the show, would you like to make a great first impression on LinkedIn? If so, I have something just for you. When people search for your name on Google, your LinkedIn profile will normally come up first. Before meeting someone for the first time, how often do they view your LinkedIn profile? For many coaches and consultants I begin to work with, their profiles don't do them any justice. I've created a simple solution where you can whip your profile into shape to have your best foot forward when attracting new clients on LinkedIn. Go to blgdownload.com, so that's blgdownload.com to get your 5 killer tips today. Hello to the Build, Live, Give Solo podcast, episode number 294. If it's your first time, welcome. And if you love what you hear, please subscribe. I recommend listening to episode 0.5 to guide you. If you're a regular, thanks for your support. It means the world to me. I love listening to podcasts and always have follow-up questions. You may be the same. If you are, go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/questions and lodge yours, and I promise to answer it, just like Zuba did, who asked a specific question that I'm going to actually do on this podcast today. Please check out past shows on your favorite platform. Just search Build, Live, Give. So today's topic, thanks to Zuba, is 7 tools for a service-based business. He's got one and wanted to know what I recommend. So what I'm going to go through is 3 key things that you'll learn. One is the tools I recommend, why, and the third thing is how you can find out more without doing all the work, in particular solve some of your challenges. So some people collect watches, other people collect stamps, whatever you're into collecting. I collect apps, software, technology, anything that can help me be more effective. I really love that stuff. And I was lucky enough to work for Coca-Cola for 18 years, and they're really at the forefront of technology. I'll get that right, technology. And when I left, I set up my own tech consulting agency with a really good friend, Scott Gallantly. So we're partners. We ended up having successful exit of that business, but I loved it, and I've sort of carried on that passion. And I get some of my information from AppSumo, which I recommend, Product Hunt. There's G2 Crowd. There's a whole heap, but what I've done is filter them all to make it easy for you. And what I'm going to do is just lay out my core tech stack first, because you've probably heard those podcasts where you go, oh yeah, I've heard that one before, or yes, that's pretty obvious, right? So I'll do that, but then I'll give you 7 that you may not have heard before. And they're really great. I use them all the time, and I hope you can squeeze them into your tech stack or your bundle. So the core is I use Asana for project management, Google for everything, basically, Google Clouds Suite, I forget what it's called. Zoom, obviously, for video conferencing. I use Slack for running some of my memberships. I use Xero as my accounting software. I use Airtable, which is brilliant for all my knowledge base, and we're starting to really pimp that up. Used LinkedIn, obviously, especially the mobile app, ActiveCampaign, and that's about it for my core stack. So what I'll do now is go through 7 that you may not have heard of, but I highly recommend. So the first one, and I'll mention the categories and also the tool, right? Because this is just my recommendation. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's what, after dedicating most of my business career to learning this stuff, is what I've come up with, and working with, hundreds and hundreds of service-based owners. So from tool number 1 is Sales CRM, Copper CRM. I think it's brilliant. It best integrates with G Suite. That's the absolute biggest plus that it's got, better than anything else I've used. And we used to sell them, right? So I've used everything, HubSpot, Pipedrive, you name it. But I do think for a business that's run on Google Cloud or G Suite, couldn't recommend it higher enough. 2 is the scheduler, right? We all need them these days. We're busy. It's no use you doing it or your VA doing it. So I love Book Like a Boss. It's got a really great UX experience, and it's really easy to use. Tool 3 is a screen capture, right? So we're always cutting and pasting stuff. We all do it. I use Cloud App. That's right. It's Cloud App. It's easy to drag and drop. It's free, and it's also, you can do video and capture as well. So I really love that one. Tool number 4 is one that I mention in every podcast. So if you're a regular listener, try to think what it could be. Okay. Now it's a podcast app. So it's Pocket Cast. what I love is, you can still learn from mentors. Like, that's what I do. I've hardly ever met my mentors, but I listen to a whole list of people. But what it does is allows you to queue playlists. It's got a great desktop feature where you can drop other MP3s in to create, quick audio that you want to listen to. So your own version of podcast. And you can also fast forward. So you can fast forward, the front, the back. So I love that. Like Tim Ferriss, Pat Flynn, those guys have brilliant podcasts, but there's just too much stuff at the start and the end. So I can fast forward that on a regular basis. So before we go into the other 3 tools, do you have a sales machine to deliver you 1 to 3 high-paying clients a month? If you don't, I highly recommend my Pulse Check. Go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/pulse, and it'll be 9 questions, 3 minutes. At the end, if you've absolutely smashed it, then I'll invite you to be a guest on the podcast. And if you're, there's gaps that you can see, what we'll do is jump on a call and I'll give you a specific plan. Not a sales call, a call to give you a specific plan. So that's paulhigginsmentoring.com/pulse. So we've already done 4 so far. So just a quick recap of those. It was Copper CRM, Book Like a Boss, Cloud App, Pocket Cast, and so they were the first 4. So the next 3 is a messaging app. So I absolutely love this. There's good ones out there, WhatsApp, etc. But I love Voxer, VOXER, asynchronous communication. It's great when I'm working with my Group Accelerate clients where they can leave me a message. I can listen at 3 times speed. But the great thing is they can just talk it through, right? There's no back and forth. They just say the whole thing. Then when I'm ready and I've got some facts and I've got, actually thought through my question, then I can reply. Ari Meisel is a master at this. That's who I learn it from. And also I think Taki Moore uses it. But it's great. Tool number 6 is note-taking, and it's not Remarkable that Guy Kawasaki recommends on his Remarkable podcast, which is a great one. Or, it's not, I can't remember, Notion. Yeah, Notion, Evernote. No, I like the old hybrid method where you write by hand and then you can digitize it. And Rocketbook's great because, you can just get a wet cloth and wipe off your pages. So no more paper lying everywhere, but you can also digitize it, send it to people. Fantastic. Okay, last but not least is a platform that I don't really know what category to put it in. So I just said platform, but it's called 10X Pro, 10X Pro, so the numeral 10. And John Lind is the founder. He's working with a mentor of mine, James Schramko, and it's fantastic. It sort of combines all your web stuff plus a learning management platform plus a membership site all into one. So you don't need all these things bundled or aren't bundled together separately like ClickFunnels or Kartra or Kajabi, etc. It's all in one. So great platform, highly recommend it. So 3 key actions from today. 1 is just try one of these tools, okay? See which one resonates best with you. Now, the second thing is I don't want you to go researching tools, right? That's not the best use of your time. It's good for me because A, it's a hobby, but B, I actually help clients with it. So why don't you just challenge me? Send me something that you cannot find a piece of software, an app to solve for, and I promise you I'll get it. I've got hundreds categorized in Airtable. I'll be very surprised if I can't. You can get all the links in the show notes at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast, episode 294, or on the app you're listening to now. As I said before, I recommend trying out the Pocket Cast app. So that's Pocket Cast, CASTS. Listen to episode 0.5 if you're new. If you want to know more about having a sales machine to get 1 to 3 high-paying clients, go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/pulse. It's also on my home screen or homepage. Please connect and follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I give some of my best content, including these podcasts. If you know someone interested in tools, please share it with them. Remember to ask those follow-up questions like Zuba did, and please take action to build, live, and give.
Thanks for listening to the Build, Live, Give podcast. If you like what you heard, please share it and leave us a review. It would mean the world to us.